I hear that Josh Agle's here, the artist. Shag, we're gonna get to meet him, talk a little bit about the work. Josh!
Gene, I think we have to record it again.
Why?
It didn't record.
Tonight, you are auditioning to be a lounge singer.
El Jefe.
El Jefe.
Let's do it.
Boom.
Hey, welcome to the Desert Brew. I'm Gene, and no Rashid again. You know what that means. It's a Gene show. No, I'm kidding. Today, we are at Shag Store and then the Shag House. Shag is just the artwork that personifies Palm Springs. You guys, if you've not been down here, if you're a tourist, if you are a snowbird, or if you haven't been recently, you've got to come down to the store and check out the artwork. And we're gonna get an inside look, and then later the house. I don't know if you guys know, but they built the Shag House. So come with me, let's go. I hear that Josh Agle's here, the artist. Shag, we're gonna get to meet him, talk a little bit about the work. Josh!
Hey,
What's
Gene.
up? How are you, man?
Welcome to the Shag Store.
Super excited, super excited. You're gonna show us around a little bit,
I'm
talk
gonna
about
give
your
you a
work.
little tour. Absolutely.
All right, this is a behind the scenes, guys. Let's go. Where do you want to start? I want to hear the story of Shag. I want to know how this all came to be because.
Well,
yeah.
let's start with maybe a Palm Springs theme piece.
I mean, that's a good place to start, right?
All right.
Is that where Shag actually started? Was with the Palm
No, I
Springs look?
started in LA
Okay.
and then started painting Palm Springs in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Love it. All right, show some of your favorite pieces, and even more than that, I want to hear, because I always think that there's hidden meanings behind some of the art. Am I wrong?
There are hidden meanings.
Okay, can you just give us a few?
I never tell what they are, though.
You don't?
Because your idea might even be better than what I was thinking.
How am I getting the inside scoop? All right, then we'll just do some of your favorites. Show us some of your favorites.
All right, well, this piece is called On a Sunday After, Downtown Buzz.
Downtown
which
Buzz.
is downtown Palm Springs.
Okay.
You can see the iconic Welcome Center. It's got a strip of downtown shops.
I love
It's
it.
got the Convention Center.
I love it.
The Buzz Bus, which unique to Palm Springs. Here's some more Palm Springs.
So, I'm not gonna get one secret, just one.
Here's
Is
a
that
secret.
you? Is that you?
That's me
That's
riding
you.
the
That's
unicorn.
the secret.
Or
That's the secret.
unicorn, unicycle.
You obviously have, I see work now that you're doing with, you're doing a little superhero work.
Yeah, I'm working with both DC Comics and Marvel.
Okay, and some Vegas.
Collaborating in Vegas, yeah.
But Palm Springs, the OG, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us the story.
Well, I started coming to Palm Springs in the 80s and early 90s, and it was pretty sleepy, a little disappointing.
Okay.
So I painted what I wish it was like and what I hoped it would become. And over time, it started becoming that. And people saw those paintings and said, I want to live like that. I want to go to Palm Springs. They'd come to Palm Springs because they saw it in one of my paintings. They'd fall in love with the city, buy a house, try and live that lifestyle. So along with, a lot of people discovering a rebirth of interest in this mid-century architecture, I think my art was also introducing some people to that.
So, paint it and they will come. Is that it?
If you paint it, they
Paint
will
it,
come.
they will come and they will build, and they will build correctly. I do think that you inspired a whole movement here, restoration movement. I mean, you certainly are a piece of it. I mean, that's why I tell everybody, when you're in Palm Springs, if you're here, you've got to come down to the store because you get a real feel for what that lifestyle is
Yeah,
about.
it talks a lot about, cocktails by the pool, the evening cocktail party.
More cocktails?
More cocktails.
I don't know why we drink a lot here, I'm just saying.
Driving around Palm Springs, the tram.
The tram.
Yeah.
I love it, I love it. You spend a lot of time here as well.
Yes.
And later we're going to go to check out the new
The
Shag
Shag
House,
House, yes.
the new Shag House, which is not where you live, people. So don't go there and try to harass them. Yeah.
I don't live there. It was built for people to see.
I love it. I love it. Which, do you have a piece in here? Because basically that house is a painting come to life.
Yeah.
Can you show us? Okay, so.
So this is the backyard of the Shag house.
So-
this is what you're going to see. Yeah.
Wait,
That
is
bar
everybody going to
around
be
it?
there drinking when we get there?
I'm not sure who's going to be there when we get there.
I
Probably
mean-
not a party like this, but maybe.
I could wear shorts. I'll be him for the day. I'll be him for the. No, I'm excited. This is amazing. This is it. This is the Shag house.
This is part of it. There's a lot more than this.
Okay. You also do Hollywood. Just give me a history walkthrough of some of the work.
Well, a lot of it is either LA or Palm Springs centric or pop culture.
Love
I've
it.
worked with Disney for 20 years. I was the official artist for the 50th anniversary of Disneyland.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've continued to work with Disney. So you'll see there's the Enchanted, or the Jungle Cruise right there.
Wait, I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
the coolest thing ever. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
What else am I not asking you? I mean, that's so cool.
So this wall is kind of devoted to tiki and tropical.
Okay,
You'll see a room at the Shag House, which is also devoted to that.
but the background here is your history with Disney.
Well, it even goes earlier than that because I spent the first 8 years of my life in Hawaii. I went to elementary school in Hawaii. So at the time, I don't remember being super impressed with like tikis and torches and things, but later on, I think it bubbled up from my subconscious.
It made an impression.
Absolutely.
I mean, interesting as an artist. I mean, that made an impression. Coming here in your early days made an impression. And I think in both circumstances, you probably didn't know at the time that the impression it made.
No, I didn't know that would be the kind of impetus
Your
to
future.
an entire body of work. Yeah.
Your future and the amazing work that you do. So topics that you cover, I don't know if that's the correct way to ask that, but
Yeah.
obviously Palm Springs, tiki, and now we're finding out a little bit of some background with Disney. What else? You're hitting Vegas. How did that come to be?
Well, we opened a pop-up store in Vegas, and so I needed to create some Vegas-themed art. So the store had something to sell. So
I love
I
it.
created merchandise and art based on that. Now the pop-up store is moving, so we're gonna move it to somewhere else in the United States, which will give me another sort of impetus to create a new body of work.
And when you create a new body of work, I mean, what is that process? I mean, you have to be inspired, right?
Yeah, I have to be inspired.
Okay.
I go to the place, I stay there for a while, I talk to people about what's important about this place, or what do you think Shag would like to see here? And sometimes they'll take me to see something that's just incredible.
You mentioned drawing board, so I think that's really interesting. So how long does it typically take for something to come to life? Like, I know if you're a writer, for example, sometimes you're motivated, sometimes you're not. How does that work with your work?
Well, with me, everything starts with the drawing.
Okay.
Well, before the drawing, the idea. So I say, I envision this piece of art, I have this idea, I start sketching.
Okay.
Rework my sketches till I'm happy with what it is. It's still only a pencil sketch. And from there I decide, is this going to be an original painting?
Are they like stick people back then at that point? Or a little more?
A little beyond stick people, but pretty primitive.
Stick people. Go ahead.
And then I decide if it's going to be a print edition or if it's going to be an original painting.
Okay.
And I go from there. If it's going to be a print edition, I refine that drawing, and then I have to basically redraw the entire thing and assign colors and have it
Interesting.
printed. So that whole process can take 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, just
very
for-
interesting. And what percentage of your work is paintings as compared to print?
Now it's about 10% paintings, 90% prints, which is the complete opposite of the way it was 20 years ago. 20
Okay.
years ago, it was about 90% original paintings, 10% prints. But as the painting prices have increased and fewer people can afford them, the more people could afford prints. So it's kind of shifted.
But if you do a painting, you can do prints of a painting?
Yeah, I can do
Okay.
prints from a painting.
Sorry, I should have done my homework before we got here.
That's a great
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So what's the time, typically, is there a longer period of time to do a painting than a...
Sometimes a painting can take 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, if it's a
Okay.
big one. Yeah.
A piece that you've done that personifies and sort of represents Shag as a whole. And then I also want to know if there's one that in particular that you love.
Oh God.
Which one's your baby?
I always say the one I love is the one I'm working on right now.
Good answer, good answer.
Yeah, because all my hopes and dreams and energies are going into that.
Okay.
You know.
I love
So
that.
once I'm finished, I mean, there are a few that I think are maybe duds, but
Yeah, doubt it. Doubt it, people. Yeah. I
But
mean,
it's
go ahead
always
and
been a favorite.
send your duds over to me. I'm good. I'm good with that. No, okay, so my other question, I said,
one that kind of encapsulates the world of shag.
yes.
Gosh, I think a good one would be over here. And
Oh,
you know, you've kind of getting a lot of stuff going on here. You've got people by the pool, cocktails, people in the pool, people up high grilling, cars. It's obviously Palm Springs.
well, so much of it. And people, those of you who don't live here, you've got the road runners, which if you go to any golf course here, you're going to see them.
Yeah,
People
love
don't
the road
realize
runners.
that, right?
They're so cool when you see one in real life.
You are and will be iconic forever here now.
Wow.
No, seriously.
I appreciate
mean,
that.
I say that in all sincerity. I mean, your work, I mean, there's not a house that I've gone into that doesn't have or appreciate something of yours. It's just so Palm Springs. And the fact that you probably helped or had some piece of the movement for restoration here. So thank you.
I appreciate
As a fellow Palm Springs resident, I say thank you. And now I want to see the Shag House.
All right, let's go.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm super excited today. I am at the Shag House. And those of you who have watched the show or know me, you know I love Shag. I think it's the quintessential Palm Springs. The Shag Store, you've got to get there if you haven't been there. It is the place I send anyone who is visiting. It's amazing. But they've done something that is unbelievable. They've taken basically a shag painting and brought it to life in a Shag House. I don't know of any other artist that's done this. Only this could happen in Palm Springs, right? So I'm lucky enough to be here. We're gonna get a little tour and find out more about the house. So super excited about this. Ready? There he is.
Come on in.
There he is, the man himself, Shag.
Welcome
Shag.
to the Shag House.
It's actually Josh, but I just say Shag. So, all right, you gonna give us a tour?
Come on in.
I love it. I love it. Hey, welcome back to the Desert Brew. I'm Gene, and I'm here with the man, Shag, Josh Agle.
Hey,
How you
thanks,
doing?
Dean. Great.
This is my dream.
Well, I'm glad to have you at the Shag House.
This is my dream. So throughout the show, people have heard me talk about Shag, about your artwork. I think we did a little opening there at one point. I'm sort of the super fan, so if I geek out a little bit, like you gotta forgive me. I think that as we talked about in the store as well, you personify Palm Springs, just that look.
Yeah, I love Palm Springs. I've always been a huge booster of Palm Springs, and to be able to actually have a house with my name on it that's going to be part of the history of this city, it's unbelievable.
It's full circle.
Yeah,
It's full circle
yeah.
because, I mean, you started out, I think that you inspired a lot of the movement of people restoring places here. You said you started out in the 80s.
Yeah, I was coming here in the late 80s and early 90s, and it was
Okay.
a pretty sleepy town back then. There wasn't a lot of appreciation for mid-century architecture. It was more oriented around, golfing, tennis, but I knew there was like this spirit here,
Right.
and that's what I was painting.
And had you had visited, because you're from Orange County. Is this a vacation spot you would go to?
Yeah, I would come out, shortly after I was married, my wife and I came out to stay at the Tropics Motel,
Okay.
which was the last tiki-themed motel in Southern California. And we drove around Palm Springs and saw these neighborhoods, especially neighborhoods like this, full of mid-century houses, and we were just blown away.
I love that.
But they were, at that time, people were trying to hide what they were, If put a red tile roof on your mid-century house and stucco it to make it look
everybody went
Spanish.
Southwestern for a while, right? I remember that period, yes.
So people weren't appreciating the mid-century, but I did. And I imagined, what would this neighborhood look like if people bought these houses and restored them?
You know, just 2 weeks ago, I had friends here from Ohio, and they said, where do we go? What do we do? And I said, we have to stop at Shag, because that just gives you the whole entire feeling of Palm Springs. It just personifies the look and the colors. I feel like you sort of took the period and just turned up the color just a little bit.
Yeah, it's maybe a little brighter than it would have been back then, which is
awesome.
Artistic license allows you to do that.
I love it. I love it.
There are already houses in Palm Springs with a lot of shag on the walls.
Right.
So I wanted to do something where the actual building was shag, you
Right.
know. And if there is art in the house, it's, for the most part, it's things I designed specifically for this house. So sculptures, a few pieces of art designed specifically for the house, but mostly it's the wallpapers, it's the rock work, the floors, the tile, all that sort of stuff that kind of evokes this feeling of shag.
What is the house going to serve as now? So I know you're doing Modernism Week. Tell us about other things happening.
Well, it's an event space. It's
Okay.
available for, we've had a couple charity events here. We will have more. It's also available for rent. If you go to the website, shaghouse.com, you know.
We'll put that down there.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can, you know, you can get more information about those details.
Okay, so it's definitely, it's open to the public one way or the other.
Yes.
I love that. And I have a feeling it's probably going to be, well, if I was a betting man, every single Modernism Week, this place will be the talk of the
Yeah, I'm
the
guessing
town.
it's going to be on tour for a few more
I
months.
mean, it was this year, right?
Yeah, it was the signature property of this year's
How
Modernism
many
Week.
people came through?
Close to 5,000 people toured this house.
That's a lot of people to bring through a house.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. I'd just like you to, let's get up, walk around, just
Yeah,
show us
absolutely.
things.
That is one of the complete working bars on the property.
Okay.
That round roof was one of the things that took a lot of doing, but I insisted it needed to be round like that.
I love it. I love it. Little privacy, little.
We've got an
fire pit
outdoor
area.
lounge.
Okay.
One of the kind of signature things you see in a lot of my paintings is that freestanding fireplace with
Yeah,
the round
yeah,
hood.
yeah.
So I knew I wanted it on this property as well.
Let's just start with the ceiling. Just start with the ceiling. Tell me about the ceiling.
Well, this is one of those things that came out of necessity because the
Okay.
existing ceiling in this room was really rough.
Okay.
And I thought we're going to have to do something with that ceiling. So I designed these sort of Swiss cheese panels to go over the
I
ceiling.
love it. I
And
love
then
it.
we realized we could backlight it, and it gives kind of this strange feeling in here.
So wait, you created this?
Yeah, I created this mostly based on my own experience of drinking around the world. So when I designed this kitchen, I think some of my business partners were concerned that it was a little too bright,
Okay.
but once they saw it, they were convinced.
Wait, this was a discussion, like,
Yeah, I did a rendering of it
okay.
in the parrot green and the bright tangerine. And they were like, is that gonna be too much? And I said, in the Shag house, there can be no too much.
How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, square footage? I mean, I'm so caught up in, which is a good thing. I'm so
Yeah.
caught up in just the look and feel that I've been asked the most practical questions.
It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms.
Okay.
Living room, game room, and plenty of outdoor space.
I mean, how many bars?
2 working bars.
Wait,
And
there's,
2
there's a
kitchens.
there's a non-working bar?
Well, I don't know. You could say that kitchen
All
bar
right,
is
all
not
right,
working.
perfect. Listen, this is amazing, and I think hopefully, you know, whether you're a local, whether you're visiting, whether you're a snowbird, somehow you've got to experience this at some point.
Yeah.
And then,
We're gonna open it up for tours again, so if people are interested, they will have an opportunity to see it.
And he said I could stay here.
Pick a room.
Pick a room. Josh, thank you so much, and
Thanks,
thank you
Gene.
for having us at the
Yeah.
house.